Perfect. Awesome. Well, thank you guys for joining me today, this Wednesday morning. At least we have some sunshine today. That always makes me feel better than the buckets of rain we got yesterday. So today we're just going to be talking about trend graphics and how to use some of those stats in different marketing pieces. And we're going to throw ChatGPT in here as well. So just kind of how you can use all three of these kind of programs to work together and help with your social media or any kind of like marketing that you want to do. So like newsletters, texting, all that kind of stuff. So, um, awesome. So just kind of why it's good to use housing stats in marketing is it positions yourself as the area expert and gives you credibility as well as creates trust. So it's just kind of all three ways kind of a win. So you're showing that you know what you're talking about, especially in that area, gives you credibility. And then people are like, oh, yeah, well, Katie knows that. So I'm going to reach out to Katie. So, or if they have a question about it, they might DM you and just things like that. So just starting those conversations about real estate. The main issue when presenting stats is, let's face it, if you're not like a math person, stats are pretty boring by themselves, especially because they don't mean anything just by themselves to the average Joe. So, of course, we know and we're like, oh, that's really interesting, but we have to tell other people why it's interesting, like your viewers and people on social media, why they should care about it. So, just some good stats to share are average home prices, especially specific to areas that you're working in because you're going to do more targeted marketing. So it just kind of hits harder when they're like, oh, well, what is the average price in Gahanna or in Upper Arlington or just different things like that instead of Columbus as a whole because we know Columbus has a bunch of different areas and price really does change between them. So it's really good to be area specific and to be marketing to the areas that you want to work in. And that goes for all of these. So days on market, list to sale ratio, and inventory levels. And luckily these, see, four are kind of stats that we can get from Trend Graphics. Not necessarily interest rates and buying power. You'll have to look to other resources for those, but that's a good stat to market as well. Um, so let's go ahead and I want to show you guys an example of this that I made yesterday, just when I was prepping, is basically, so this is what we call like an Instagram carousel. And that just means there's multiple pictures that they slide through. And those tend to get a little bit more engagement than your normal just one picture post. But not nearly as quite as much as a reel. So it's kind of in between those kind of like different posts. So this is one that I came up with. So 5 insights to New Albany real estate. And then you just scroll down and this would be them swiping. So average sold price and then a little bit about it. So this is down 22% from April, but up 3.3% from September from last year. So it's just kind of different stats and this kind of puts a framework to it. So like, hey, it's down 22% from last month. The average Joe is still like, oh, that's down quite a bit, you know? So it kind of gets some interest in that. So just giving them a little bit of reference with that. And then if we keep going, so 202 properties were listed. This is down 12.6% from last month. 92 were sold. This is down 4.2% from August, but 116 were placed under contract, and this is up 27.5% from last month. So just kind of, again, giving frames, giving numbers, but sounding really professional and just be like, hey, this is what we're seeing in the micro month to month of the real estate market. Current months of inventory, 2.2 months. This is down 8.3% from August from last month. And then balanced is 3 to 6 months of inventory. And then average days on market is 38. This is really good for people to start seeing, especially as, you know, listings might be sitting a little bit longer. Then they see this on social media and they're like, oh, well, actually my 27 days is pretty good. So it's just kind of another reinforcement of here's the data, here's the stats. And you're gonna do this research anyway for the area that you're working in. Might as well just make a post about it and people who want to work with you will be like, oh, well, I guess 35 days makes sense. And they can just kind of go back and see that. So, and another kind of framework sentence is this is up 46% from August. That's kind of huge. Like that's almost 50%. So just kind of a little interesting tidbit. And then I always recommend ending a carousel with like a contact card. So this would be your name, your photo, and your information down here. It just kind of wraps up the post nicely. So it's not just like, okay, that's it. Those are my stats. Like it's just a nice closing. Hey, contact me if you have any questions about anything. Um, so this is kind of the goal or something that I created that I thought could be really cool. So this could go in a newsletter. Like it doesn't have to be just on social media or anything like that. So yeah, I thought this was interesting. And if people are kind of looking in New Albany, they're going to swipe through, they're going to have questions, and just kind of, it'll really position yourself as that area expert. So that's kind of what we're going to be creating. So let's go back here. So here are a few ideas, creative ways. So this is what we call like a carousel. So a sleek Canva graphic. Find things to know about whatever area in the month of the housing market, just different things like that. You can also turn it into a reel or TikTok. Katie, I know you're super good at videos. I always see your videos. So this would be really good for you. So just do a 30-second market minute, break down one key stat in the area, and just kind of post it. And that's kind of your reel and reel of the week. Few other examples, comparisons. So a then post versus now post. So that can be last year versus this year. That'd be really interesting to do every month. So you could do all 5 of those stats and then look back at last year. So that could be kind of interesting and one thing you can do every month. And then client focused storytelling. So this is kind of, this will be really good, but I would like practice caution. So don't say your client's name. Obviously don't give like names and numbers and like all that kind of stuff. Just say my client saw 3 houses and got accepted on offer number 2 or something like that. So just keep it like vague. But those storytelling reels definitely do capture more interest because it gives like more real life examples instead of something so stark as stats. So that's a really good kind of example if you need a real idea. And then post engagement. And then, Katie, are you here twice?
I'm getting off my phone.
Okay, I was like, Katie, someone's in your account. That was funny. Or post a stat and ask your audience. So just different things you can do with kind of this information. I like a carousel, so that's kind of why I went with that. But perfect. So we can go ahead and I'm going to go back home here in Canva. So how I kind of started with this is I just searched up like real estate and then it's going to give me a bunch of different templates and I like to do something that already has like a tip for first time home buyers or something like that I know it's going to be like a carousel with multiple kind of images that we swipe through. So definitely go through and look through the templates here, and I am in the KW account, but it's going to work very similar, like exactly to how the regular pro would work. You just search through all the different templates already created by Canva. But for this one, I'm just going to make a copy. And do you guys want to see like a specific area? So instead of like New Albany, do you guys want to see like Dublin or have any suggestions? Oh, Bill, I think you're muted.
How are you able to limit it? Like, if you say all of Dublin, that's quite a bit. Can you do like a certain neighborhood in Dublin or?
Oh yeah, so in Trend Graphics, you narrow it down by zip code. So you can like look at different zip codes. So it's not, you don't type in like New Albany, you type in, I went to Google and I asked for New Albany zip codes and just selected all of those. But you can get pretty like granular with just the zip code. But I will caution, if you do like one zip code, you're probably not going to get that much data. So just kind of make it a little bit bigger because there could be like 2 listings that went live in that zip code. Like it just kind of depends.
I'm thinking like my area is 43235. But if I do that, I'm going to get Worthington schools and Dublin schools and Columbus schools. And so the numbers, like the sales, are going to be a little bit different in each one of those school districts.
Oh, interesting. Well, you can search by school district as well
Okay.
in
So
Trend
if I
Graphix.
narrowed it to Columbus, it would cut out all the higher price homes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So let me go ahead and log into Trend Graphix, and I have the logins here. These are shared office wide, so KW Cap Agent and then Wilson Bridge is the password. So we'll just go back over here, and it's just Trend Graphix with an X at the end.com. Log in. And then over here, we can start seeing, so select a region, that's going to be the Columbus Board of Realtors. Now select a location. You can see tax district, zip code, school district, or subdivision. So do you want to do school district, like a specific one, Bill?
Columbus, yes.
Columbus? Columbus. Oh boy, there's quite a few. No, Winchester. Okay, then I see the different zip codes. So 43235. And they do go by an order, which is kind of helpful. So 43235, select that one. Okay. And then also over here, so this is going to bring in everything. If you don't tell it you only want like residential or single family residence. So it will do like condos and duplexes, high rises, all that kind of stuff. Bill, do you know if that's mainly like residential, or do you just want to see everything?
Yeah, it would be interesting to see single family homes.
We will do that. And then make sure you unselect all, or else it'll just pull in all anyway.
Okay.
So do the single family. Perfect. And then down here is the predefined date range. So you can do a custom range. And that's 1 month. So we'll see what happens. And then you can go up here, click show chart or show chart at the bottom, and then it's going to start pulling in that info. So we have kind of our area and date range set. So now we can go up here and see, okay, for sale versus sold, average price per square foot, days on market, average price for sold versus and for sale, and then months of inventory. So here's kind of our different reports. Right now we're on sale versus sold. I like to click the show numbers because then it'll give you specific numbers. So 8, 9, 3, just we can kind of see more specifically what's happening versus going over here and be like, okay, this line's 9 and whatever. Especially when it gets to like the thousands numbers, it can get a little crazy. So, and then over here are some really cool things. So they do have a market highlight. So this kind of just shows you exactly what's happening. So home for sale in September 2025, where there were 3 homes for sale, that's down 50% compared to last month. So you can see it's already super easy to go in and grab this data and just transfer it right over. So home was closed in September, were 6 units, so that's up 100% compared to last month. So just really interesting kind of stats over here. And then we can also see the chart kind of reflecting that. Down here too, it's really nice. So it'll show kind of month by month. So August versus September, 50%. We can kind of see where they're getting that in the market highlight, 50%. And then this is current versus 6 months. And then usually year to date is down here too, which is really interesting. So last year there were 2, this year there's 5, 150% change. So just kind of interesting stats down here in different tables. But yeah, to keep it super simple, you can just capture this information, put it into your Canva graphic, and then you're good to go. So we'll keep going. So days on market. Oh, we can see it's definitely like automatically we can see a trend definitely going up. It was really high in April, but now it went down and now it's on the rise again. So just kind of interesting. You can kind of, that gives you a good kind of visual on what's happening. And then again, market highlights. So average days on market is 31. It's up 106% compared to last month. So this is great for sellers listing. Be like, okay, we can kind of see it might take a little bit longer. We can see an upward trend here. So that's a really great thing to bring to a listing conversation. And then average price versus sold versus for sale. It's definitely doing some interesting things here. Jeez. Let's see. So in June, we can see it sold for way above asking price, but then it just went right back down. June was definitely like an outlier for some reason. Just they wanted that house in June. And then we can see like it sold a little bit under asking after that. And again, the market highlights, so average for sale price in thousands, 582. It's up 4.3% compared to last month. But then this is the average sold price. So I would go with this one, so 469, and that's up 9.8%. So that's really good for sellers too. Like, hey, it's still creeping up there. So yeah, just I love this market highlight. It really just breaks down kind of what's happening here. Over here too is the quick guide. It's just kind of telling you about what the report and what it means. If you're ever like, oh, what does that mean, or specifically, or anything like that, you can go to the quick guide and it'll kind of help you out with that. Perfect. So now I'm going to go back to Canva here, jump in this one. And I guess we could say Columbus School District, maybe a different title, but for now, we'll do that. Space it out a little bit. So average sold price, again, we'll go back to Trend Graphix. Maybe that was in the other one. I think it was this one. So average sold price, 469,000. And then we'll go back to here. That's up 4.3%. Let's see what it's also saying. That's okay. So then down here, so this is the year-to-date info. So again, this is going to be on every page. So then we can go down here and be like, okay, compared to last year, it's down 1.8%. So we can just throw that in here. From September 2024. And then literally that's good to go. So it's really nice if you just have your template of stats that you like to present every month, go to Trend Graphix and just grab the data, throw it in here, and then you're good to go ahead and post it. Let's do days on market. And I won't make you guys watch me do all of this because I think any questions or I feel like it's pretty simple once you kind of find the info. And Trend Graphix like can take a little bit of getting used to, but then it's like really helpful. Literally can get in here. Okay, so days on market was 31. go over here, 31, and then we'll go back here. So it's up 7.7%. So not nearly as much as New Albany. And there we go. Current months of inventory. Oh, it's down to half a month. That's kind of wild. Let's see. So we'll throw that in here. This is down from, so it's down 75% from last month. That's crazy. 75%.
Just means everything is sold.
Yeah. Which makes sense because everyone was moving there for school.
Yeah.
So that makes perfect sense. So if you're a seller, be like, hey, August would be great. Or maybe before, maybe July. But so yeah, that's a really great way to kind of get in here, get these stats, put them on social media, and start generating like different conversations because you guys are going to do this research anyway for the areas that you're really working. Might as well put it on social for everyone to see as well. And then if we want to bring ChatGPT into this, so let's say if you really want to do like a reel, or just do like, yeah, a reel talking about different stats in Columbus, you can actually go to Trend Graphix. And what would you guys say is the most interesting, like average price or days on market, or like what would you want to make a reel about? Because then we'll just take this, throw it into ChatGPT and tell it to make me a reel script.
I'd say both.
Both? Perfect.
Everybody wants the average price, but then they're also curious about days on market because things are sitting.
That's very true. So I will just screenshot these on market. Oh, that's not a very good screenshot. Hold on. Scroll down a little bit. I'm used to screenshotting on a Mac, so I'm like, wait. Let's see. New. Then we'll save this. So we'll get that one. And then average price. Screen. Perfect. All right, then I'm going to go over to chat and say, help me. Or I'm going to say, I'm a realtor in this Ohio on a reel for Instagram. Close enough. About the Columbus School District. Zip code 43235. Script based off of these two graphs. About days on market and average sold versus sale for sale price. I want it, let's see. My goal is to inform who may be. And I want to encourage those viewers to reach out to me. Awesome. So that's kind of my prompt. And I know a lot of people use like different, what's that one prompt? There's a prompt creator and I forget what it's called, but I haven't tried that yet. And I learned about it from Jean and Joe. And I think that would be really good. But for now, we're just going to go with that one. So just drop those in here. I wonder if I can get another one. Okay. All right. So I'm going to just hit enter and see what we get. Maybe. I need the Jeopardy music right now. Okay.
Do you pay for Pro ChatGPT?
Not yet. I've pitched it to the office to do that. And I think I just need to pitch it again. Be like, hey, this would be really good. Because this is my one for work, but I do not currently, but I think it would be a major upgrade.
Okay, because you can only upload, I think, 1 or 2 documents a day.
Yeah.
With the free version. I have the free version, but they keep telling me I need to upgrade.
I think it'd be really good. And then also, like, if we can get this Canva boat off the ground, that would be $15 back to you guys. So then it'd be like, okay, like $5 more for Canva Pro. So, or not Canva Pro, for ChatGPT Advanced or whatever they call it. So I do think it'd be really beneficial. And I think I am going to try to get it for like 2026. Be like, hey, we use this. I use this all the time. But cool. Okay, so Instagram Reel script. So opening kind of hook. Hey, Columbus homeowners, if you're in the 43235 area, listen up, the market's shifting, and I've got some numbers that might surprise you. Excuse me. So that'd be a really good kind of hook, grab your attention, different things like that. So perfect market insight. Excuse me, geez. Over the past few months, the average price has climbed from around 275 to now, or 475 to 580. That's a big jump. Here's the kicker. Homes are being listed. The average sold price has actually dipped. So that's a really good kind of, because your clients are gonna see these really high prices, but they're not gonna go back and see what it sold for. So just be like, hey, it actually sold for this, even though it was listed for that. So that could be a really good kind of conversation starter. That means buyers are being more selective, which I think is really very reflective of what we're seeing in the market. So sellers need to be strategic if they want top dollar. So I think that's super true right now. Buyers are definitely being more selective. And then days on market. So on top of that, homes are taking a little longer to sell than they were early in the year. So pricing and presentation and timing are everything right now. If you've been thinking about selling before the holidays or early next year, now's your time to plan. Send me a DM or comment or comment this below. So this is assuming we have like ManyChat. So comment this and we'll send you a free breakdown of what your home could sell for today's market. So that's really cool actually. So just make sure you read through these because if you don't have ManyChat set up and they comment that, you'll have to just manually be watching to send them this info. But yeah, that's pretty good. So would you like me to make it shorter? You can upload days on market graph too, blah, blah, blah. So I think this is a really great Instagram reel kind of script. So that's just another way that you can get more informative social media out there in a pretty quick time slot. Just go into Trend Graphix, pull some graphs, send it in there, be like, okay, script time, and you can make like 4 or 5 of these a day and you're good for the month. So it's just kind of a really great way to kind of batch your social media reels. If you're into reels, trying to get into them, it's way easier to film them all, save them, and then just like push them out. So saves a lot of time that way. But I think this is pretty good.
Random question. I was in ChatGPT tomorrow, and I know this class is, or yesterday, and I know this class is not about that, but I see it on yours as well. It says use Zillow for this answer. What is that? You know?
So it's kind of like, so ChatGPT is becoming more and more like, there's a word for it, but I can't think of it. But like that you could connect your Zillow account and then it could go in and kind of grab some information from Zillow. So would you like me to I guess I don't know why it's asking for Zillow here. Maybe because it's real estate. I've had to ask for Canva before when I'm like, hey, look at this graphic or make me this graphic or something like that. So I think it's just trying to see how else it can be helpful and what else you can connect it to. And again, I think that might be ChatGPT Pro, where you can start. I think maybe I can connect two things, but you could start connecting everything through chat with the Pro version. Um, I think this is just a bad guess. It heard real estate and was like Zillow.
Okay.
So, but I've had to ask to do Canva stuff before, and I think I would just have to connect my Canva account and then it would open that or get me a Canva in here. So it's just kind of it's trying to see what other websites you would want it to do.
Okay. I
hmm
had that same prompt yesterday, and I was like, what is going on? So, okay.
hmm I'm not really sure what Zillow would do here, but I think it's just new AI. So, but yeah. Awesome. So let's see if there's anything else. That's kind of all of my tips and tricks. So we worked on making a carousel today, reel or TikTok, kind of same thing, but um, different script for that, and then comparisons, just different ways to use the data. So any questions or anything I can kind of help clear up at this point? Perfect. Awesome. Well, that's all the content I kind of had for you guys. Hopefully this was helpful. I think I'm just going to keep making these classes just because I think it's helpful to start really like bringing everything together and make more beefy social media posts. Be like, hey, here's some actual stats and not just me being like, it's a seller's market. So just different things like that. So awesome. Are you guys both signed up or aware that next Thursday is not a regular office meeting?
I'm aware, but I'm not sure what it's going to be.
Okay, perfect. So no worries. So I'm actually really excited for it. So Rachel Alley's Maps coach is actually going to be zooming in and doing like an interview for her, so we can all like kind of sit and listen. And Nicole's going to ask some questions and just talk about how Rachel kind of got to where she is, what some strategies that really were ahas for her, or different things that she might have been stuck on. So that's about an hour. That's 11 to 12. We'll do a break for lunch, and then after that, we're going to do some really good like kind of like motivational type of hey, you can do this kind of thing. So I think it's going to be really good. It's kind of again building on the conversation with Rachel and her maps coach, but it's going to be like breaking boards and kind of just getting everybody ramped up for the end of the year and just make sure everyone kind of finishes strong. So I think it's gonna be really cool. It's free to everybody who signs up. Um, so I think it's gonna be pretty good. Are you guys both signed up? Or I guess Bill, are you gonna sign up now?
I probably will. I haven't yet.
Okay, perfect. I don't think there's a deadline, but we do have to use the Eventbrite that's on Facebook, just because the Millennium Group is taking care of a lot of the signups, so they need that Eventbrite to be filled out. So I'm excited for it. I think it's gonna be really good. So
Thank
awesome.
you. I have to hop off, but this is great.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank
Katie.
you.
See you guys. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
I'll see you soon.